Good morning, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us on a brand new edition of Morning Ride here on Delta Television, The People's Pride. My name is Blessing Usiagbada. Today is Tuesday, August 18th, 2026, and I'm here with my colleague Ogaga Ekama. Good morning, Gaga.
Good morning, Blessing. How are you
I'm
doing?
doing very well. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. This is looking. Is this natural? It's not
No, it's
natural.
not
It's
natural.
a touch of natural in between there. You now
Yes.
misled us from the hairband, but it's very really
Thank
nice.
you. Thank you. All right. On today's edition of Morning Ride, we have a lot lined up for you. We'll start with trending stories. And after we're done with that, we look at our papers. We will analyze some of the headlines. Of course, we'll bring you our interview segment this Tuesday morning. Wherever it is you are joining us from this morning, thank you so much for choosing to start your day with us here on Morning Ride, Delta Television, the People's Pride. All right, we'll start quickly with our trending stories, and we are going to move to our sister state, Edo State, where
Mm.
there's a new development in the Edo State House of Assembly. The Speaker of the Edo State House of Assembly, Honorable Blessing Agbebaku, on Monday, which is yesterday, resigned his position amid reports that 18 of his colleagues had backed moves for his removal. Well, he announced his resignation during plenary shortly before the House elected Honorable Yekini Idiaye, member representing Akoko Edo 1 constituency, as his successor. Now, speaking before his replacement, Abebaku said his resignation was in response to a decision he had been asked to accept in the interest of peace in the state. He thanked Governor Monday Okpebolo for his support during his tenure, saying he had no choice but to respect the governor's decision if it was aimed at ensuring peace. Now, the resignation came amid reports of growing tension within the House and alleged moves by lawmakers to remove the Speaker. Although there were claims that the pressure for Abebaku's resignation did not emanate from the government house, sources said some close associates of the governor and senior members of the All Progressive Congress (APC) had been involved in efforts to effect a change in the leadership of the house. Abebaku was reportedly accused of failing to facilitate the clearance of a nominee of the governor for an appointment, among other issues. No, Gaga, when I read the story, it took me back to my secondary school days, when we were taught government, and we taught the three tiers of government: the
Arms of
executive,
government
yes, the executive, the legislature, and the judiciary. At no point did they teach us that one was,
answerable to the other
answerable to the,
or
yes, or one was above the
the
other.
other.
They exist to checkmate the activities of each other. Even the media, that's the fourth estate of the realm, we are there as watchdogs to, watch the activities. So at no point did they tell us that, the executive is above the legislature, and the executive has the power to
One is
ask
subordinate to
a
the other
speaker
to step
to
down.
step down, to resign for peace. I really don't understand this story. Really, maybe you have more insight on this trending story, Ogaga.
Okay. So another perspective to that is that there were allegations that the former speaker, talking about Agbebaku, he's being investigated for gross misconduct
Okay.
and misappropriations and all of those. Although he has denied all those, but investigations are still ongoing. But from the perspective, the sources, the grapevines, we hear that the instruction is allegedly
Okay.
from the government house.
Yeah.
If that is true, it should not happen. And
Exactly.
we've seen this, and are we surprised? It's not just in Edo State we see things like this, that it's as though, and that's why, even on the federal level, we see situations where they call National Assembly a rubber stamp assembly because they always do the bidding of
Of the
the president,
presidency.
and same thing in the subnationals, houses of assembly doing the bidding of the governors. But they need to understand that the positions they occupy, they were not appointed. It's not an appointment that got you there. Your people, your constituents voted you in. So you are there to serve your constituents
You were
as you,
elected.
yes,
Yeah.
to as even as you serve the state. So in a situation where you feel like anybody feels that they can just tell you what to do, the people that even have the power, the ultimate power to tell you
So
what to do,
recall
is
you,
is your constituents.
your constituents, yes.
So this bidding and kissing the ring of the king,
For peace to reign in the
Yes, but-
state.
so-
Are you sure the people, just like Ogaga said, the people who have the power to recall you or to ask you to step down should be your constituents? They should be the one to tell you we're not okay with how you're representing us, so step down. And even if it is the case of misappropriation of funds, right? He should be suspended, and not that he is resigning, except it has been proven that he's
he
guilty.
actually resigned not from the house but as speaker.
Yeah.
And he has been suspended as well, actually, because
Yeah,
the new speaker-
suspension I get, but not that you resign, because at the end of the investigation, what if investigation is being carried out, then at the end it is proven that he's innocent?
So
Would he lose the position as speaker just because of an investigation? Suspension I can understand, but resigning automatically, that is what I really can't get. And like you said, we've seen this play out not just in Edo State.
Exactly.
And the funny thing is, to show you how powerful the legislature is, when the governor, which is the head of the executive, when he goes to the State House of Assembly, he bows before the mace. It shows that he's not big. He's really not bigger than, the mace is not bigger than those in the House of Assembly. So the legislature is there, to checkmate the executive, to come up with laws and policies. The judiciary have their roles to play. The executive has his role to play. And in our country, when we talk about democracy, when we talk about governance, we want to see due process being followed. We don't want to hear rumors like this, because in the report I read, the government house from the government house they've denied that they don't have a hand in this, that it's not from.
But after their plenary session yesterday, the lawmakers, they actually went to pay the governor a visit. They went there and the governor was addressing them. I don't think in the clip I don't think I saw the former speaker there, but they went to meet with the governor, and the governor encouraged them to keep working in humility, to cooperate and serve the people, and generally.
I don't know if we should commend the former speaker for choosing to step down. I don't know if we should commend his effort, because like he said, it's for peace to reign. It's just like what Governor Fubara did in Rivers State,
See, I beg.
So I don't know if he should be commended.
No, see, there are some things. There are some times that when you choose peace at the expense of war, is foolishness.
Yeah.
It's not every time you choose peace. And sometimes what you even call peace is not peace, is your inability to act. When you say you are a peaceful person, it's when you have the ability to exact authority, to exude wrath, and you exercise restraint.
Yeah.
At that point, then you say you're peaceful.
peaceful
It's not
person.
like you are helpless, you cannot do anything. Then you
Exactly.
now say you're a peaceful. No, you're not a peaceful person.
Okay, away from that, let's move to the
Yes, our health sector is something that's quite disturbing, and recently the Nigerian Association of Resident Doctors, NAD, they are recommending work hour guidelines to limit the scope and the duration at which medical personnel work. And now it's not when I'm talking about medical personnel, the first thing when it comes to mind talks about doctors, but now they're just talking about medical personnel, and now they're talking about for morning shifts, 8-hour maximum, then for afternoon shift, 6 hours. Then they said in a week, a staff should not work beyond 48 hours.
okay.
So because we've seen situations, and they went further to talk about calls in a situation where a staff has to work beyond, the staff has to be compensated. And I was talking about how in Nigeria, most times here, you see overtime payments, people don't know how to practice it. Since I started working in Nigeria here, it's only one place that I have worked that they pay overtime. And guess why?
Why?
Because the man spent some of his years in the UK.
Okay. So he knows how it is done over there.
Yes. So this is what happens. So, and he saw, I must give him kudos, like I must commend him for this. You know, for example, Blessing, if you're supposed to be on duty and you excuse yourself that you have something to attend to, and another of your colleague comes to do your shift,
He's paid for that.
the person is paid.
Yeah.
So it's not just a matter of, it's your shift, but you're working extra hours. You're doing someone else's shift that the person had valid reasons, not that even the person is ill. So this is something that needs to be done, and it would be good to see that, because it's a form of encouragement. And yesterday I was seeing on the news civil service, the head of civil service, her office did a reward and recommendation event, and they were talking about how to reward civil servants that come up with innovative ideas and everything. And I said it's a welcome development, because most times we've seen civil service in Nigeria, be it at the federal or subnational level, we see people feel like whether I work or not, I'll be promoted. And when I'm promoted, my salaries will increase. So people are not motivated. And sometimes people even cry that the ones that are working, they tend to get more work. And they'll say the reward for hard work is
yes,
more
hard
work
work is more work.
and all of that. But meanwhile, you're seeing people that are doing little or nothing and are still getting the same salaries as you. So I think that compensation is needed, and workers, and these workers, it's not just for the benefit of medical personnel. Because when a medical personnel is overworked or stressed, imagine a doctor that has been on call for 48 hours going into 3 days now, and the person has to carry out an operation
Exactly.
or medication or write this. So they are not thinking straight.
Yeah, it's not even just operation or to carry out a surgery. I was going to take it up from there. When you go to the hospital and then you see a doctor that's stressed, or you see medical personnel that is stressed, the way they even attend to the patients, it's not cool. And so I think this is good.
Yes, it's a welcome development.
Yes,
and it should be implemented and enforced.
Yes, for medical personnel, it is good, and doctors should have welfare packages. Doctors should be able to rest when they need. Remember, I think there was last year about a doctor who slumped and died. A young doctor, a young man.
It's not just when we had different situations.
Different situations. A young man who he did over 72 hours and he was tired and he slumped and he died. We don't want such stories to continue, and we don't want. It's not like we're saying don't travel out, or we don't want doctors to go look for greener pastures, but the ones who have chosen to remain here,
yes.
Their jobs should be made easier for them. The government should provide
literally.
The government should provide what they need, more welfare packages. Then more doctors should be employed. You and I would discuss this, and I said, why this is it a policy now that's being worked on, while that is also on its way. More doctors and more medical personnel should be employed. Every year we get doctors and medical practitioners graduate from schools every year, so they should be employed because we need them. If we have enough of them, I don't think we would have doctors who are stressed or doctors who are overworked in our Nigerian hospitals. Our health sector is a sector that should not be toyed with at all. We need doctors, we need nurses, we need medical personnel in our hospitals. Now, away from the health sector, let's talk about sports. The Nigeria Football Federation, NFF, has dismissed Justin Madugu, yes, Justin Madugu, and his technical crew with immediate effect on August 17, which was yesterday, 2026. Now, the reasons for the dismissal are the tournament exit. The decision follows the Super Falcons' disappointing exit at the tournament and missing out on the global stage. World Cup miss. Nigeria failed to qualify for the 2027 FIFA Women's World Cup in Brazil after a critical loss to South Africa in the playoffs in Casablanca, Morocco. Historical defeat. Now, this marks the first time in history that the Super Falcons have failed to qualify for the Women's World Cup since it began in 1991. And the next steps that will be taken, they will set up a task force. The NFF established a special task force to investigate the remote and immediate causes of the team's poor performance. And future leadership, a new technical crew, and substantive head coach appointments are expected to be announced in due course. Now, I saw this story. I also saw it trending on social media, so I had to just go read the comments to see what the opinions of Nigerians are. And many people who did comment on X, they mentioned they kept saying sacking the coach is not the problem. That Madugu, the coach Justin Madugu, had helped the Super Falcons get some trophies. That it's not just a situation of, it's not just a problem of the coach and the technical crew. That the NFF in general, there needs to be a change in the NFF. There needs to be a change in the administration of the NFF, and that it's not just about sacking the coach. That it's an NFF problem and not a coach problem.
Yes, I agree with that to a certain extent. That yes, from And man, I will even take it further beyond the NFF, even the National Sports Commission. It needs to be looked into, because the things that plague footballers when it comes to football also affects other sports, other athletes. So I think that somehow now the NFF said they will investigate, and I also want the National Sports Commission to also look into the NFF. Why the NFF is investigating the Super Falcons to find out what happened. It's quite painful that
And disappointing. This is the
yes,
first time since
yes,
1991.
champions of Africa will not be going to the World Cup, and this is the first time that is happening. So it's so sad. And some sources are reporting that the former Super Falcons coach, talking about Randy Waldrum, might return to the position. But guess what?
Yeah.
The last time Randy Waldrum was here, he left on his own. He resigned. He was not sacked. And he said he was leaving due to unfavorable working environment.
Yes, and that's another serious issue.
So who causes that now? Will you say it's the players? So the NFF, we've all seen situations. I think there was a certain time that during World Cup qualifiers, this was for the Super Eagles, Eric Chell, the manager, was complaining of being owed salaries. So this is an NFF or a management issue. Let me not limit it to the NFF, but it's a management issue that cuts across. So
when you say management, it's the NFF. NFF is the management. That's what I talk about administration.
One being fair to them is that because sometimes you look at the NFF, they will tell you that, okay, maybe they've not released money to them yet. So sometimes funds have been released, but for whatever reason, they are holding them. So that's why I cannot limit it to the NFF, because the NFF now, they are under the National Sports Commission.
Okay.
So sometimes maybe funds has gotten to the National Sports Commission, but they've not been remitted. So I don't have the total details. That's why I'm just saying that using a blanket statement that it's a managerial issue and administration. So that needs to be looked into.
Another issue that was raised, as it concerns this story, some persons are of the opinion that our players, for the Super Falcons, that we need more players, more younger players. That someone said, and I quote, that these players we have in the Super Falcons, they have achieved everything they want to achieve, and so they are not motivated to go into these competitions to achieve to score more goals or to win. That we need to go to, like call them our local leagues in our state, and pick talented players and younger female players for the Super Falcons, and maybe even for the Super Eagles.
So now this still comes back to the administrative and managerial issues. We've seen, when you look at our football, from the under-17s to the under-20s and thereabout, we have very good players that never make it to the senior team. Why? What happened along the line? So, and that's one of the things that the Spanish team in the just concluded FIFA World Cup, yes. You see, they are young players, so you can trace their history. You know that, okay, this person played for under-17, this person played for under-20.
And I think it's easier for them now, as younger players. It's easier for them, to take instructions, and it's easier for them to work with their teammates,
because their ego has not been inflated.
Exactly. Or they are not yet. I wouldn't want to say they are not yet superstars, so they don't. Yes, they don't have this.
The ego is not there yet.
That's a star complex. Yes. So it's easier for new players.
So I think that somehow that's why, beyond dropping the coach and the technical crew, the NFF has to look within and ensure that they have a plan. So it's not just a tournament plan. Okay, let's qualify for the WAFCON and win it. Let's qualify for the World Cup and make it to quarterfinal. No, let's have a 5-year plan. That's how footballing nations.
A continuous plan, because just you talked about Spain. A lot of persons talk about how these players, they train. It's a continuous thing. It's not just because they have the World Cup coming and they begin to prepare.
Let's build a team.
It's a continuous thing. Their preparations, their trainings, it's continuous. And someone made a comment and said that our players, that you find them on social media, they always posting on social media and posting pictures, that in other countries that their players are more serious. I know that he was just trying to say that we need our players to be more serious and do less of social media thing. But just like you said, it should be continuous. 5-year plan, 10-year plan. It should be continuous preparations.
Let's know what we want. And this hiring and firing of coaches does not help as well. That's why you need to have a plan, have a philosophy. What kind of team do you want to build? Do you want to build a counter-attacking team? That's how we knew the German machines. Do you want to build a team that holds the possession? That's where the Spanish side comes in, to have a philosophy, not just 2 years time. 2 years ago, Randy Wondrum was
Different
the manager.
coaches with their
Then somebody
different-
comes
yeah.
with different philosophy. Sometimes these players, they get tired. I'm like, okay, today we are playing counter-attacking football. This
Tomorrow
one we
we're
are playing
playing
defensive.
defensive.
This one, no. Let's have a philosophy. This is how the Nigerian side wants to play, and look for a coach that suits that pattern and begins to nurse these younger ones and scout for them. Then he also talks about investment into home-based football, because you cannot be saying, let's go
And
you're
get
not-
younger
you're
players
not
and-
investing in the
yes.
football, and you're not pushing it as much as you should.
Yeah.
You see companies in Nigeria maybe going to sponsor another club when you have home-based club here. Let's not behave that way. And let's also make the environment more palatable for investors to come in, so that investors can come in, invest in our football. Then let's take away the place of politics. There was a foreign national that Nigeria, they're trying to win to come and play, but he eventually did not play. And later he was revealing that when he wanted to play for the national team, they were asking him to come and pay money.
How about the Super Falcons, our Oyibo Nigerian player that made some, she made some statements, not too clear, but there were some statements, she was insinuating that someone in I think, was it the coach now she mentioned?
Yeah.
Or let's just say someone at the top was asking her for something that she could not give, that she wouldn't give because of her
these
integrity.
things-
So
these things
this
needs
politics,
to be
yeah.
investigated, and we have to ensure that the players, athletes, are well protected and their interests are protected.
and they're taking good care of.
Yeah.
All right, moving on from that story, from sports, let's talk about something that's we see in our society every day. Now, there's a video. I would just want you to watch this video. When we come back, we'll talk about it.
Please, what is your name?
My name is Jacob.
Jacob what?
Irewa.
Huh?
Irewa.
Ilewa, where are you living?
Oworo Estate.
Which work are you doing?
I'm a teacher.
Teacher. Which school?
I left Irawo.
Huh?
I left Irawo
Uh-huh.
to Glorious Faith.
Huh?
Glorious Faith Secondary.
Okay.
But we are on vacation.
Okay.
And also, I'm a pastor.
You are a pastor?
I'm a reverend.
Huh?
Reverend.
Reverend. What is the name of your church? Name of your church?
Currently, I'm attending Living Faith Church. But God give me the mandate that I will serve Him. I will have my own church in the nearest future. But I don't know.
Okay.
What-
Now,
the
hey, calm down, please.
The devil's
Hey, calm down, my friend. Calm down, my friend. Hey.
My God!
Now,
My God! My God! Okay.
now, what you go happen? What happen? Why they bring you to vigilante office?
Okay. God who made me. Me and her, we never fight.
You and her, who?
We never fight.
You and who?
My wife.
Your wife.
We never fight.
Your
That
wife.
I will even lay my hand.
Is it your wife? Is she your wife?
It's my wife, sir.
Okay.
How many pikin you have for you?
We don't have it. We are still looking on God's
You
hand.
never get pikin.
Yes.
So what happened?
I took my bait this evening.
Uh-huh.
So I wanted to put on short sleeve.
Short leave.
And because there is heat, I don't want to put long sleeve like
Uh-huh.
this. So I discovered that all my short leaves in my bags, there are almost 7 different colors. There is blue, there is pink, there is brown,
Yes.
there is green,
Yes.
there is yellow, blue, there is 7. For man and God.
What you go happen? Sharply.
I did not see anyone in my bag.
Okay.
Then I moved straight to my wife. I did not see my short leave. Anyone? What happens to my short leave? He said, "Hey, I am just asking." I said, "Yes, now. Is it not me or you that is in the house?" She picked grace
Okay.
and run outside. Why are you running now? I'm asking of my t-shirts in my bags. I went So where we spread our clothes, the drying rain, we used to tie our clothes on the fence. I did not see anything. I thought maybe she was there. I did not see anything. The only thing he just mentioned, he said, I have burned them. You have burned?
Your wife say you don't burn your
Oh,
clothes.
God forbid.
Okay.
He said she has burned them. Then you burned all my short leaves without my knowledge. They are new. I'm still wearing them. Why do you do this to me? I tell the neighbors. I tell all our neighbors. They did not mind. Because she used to always quarrel with them. So nobody attended to us. So the frustration. My machine was packed.
Well,
She has born. I don't even see her.
now, so why, how,
I just know my.
so you now go to your machine and fetch your fuel and petrol
Oh, Father.
and throw it on her. So now you now set fire. Okay, come down. You now set fire on her. You say that you don't know. Now devil, and you call yourself a pastor. You call yourself a pastor. You say that God called you. That one day you are going to. Okay, that is the way. This is the way that you are going to get your church. Abi, don't worry yourself.
All right.
All right, welcome back. So this happened in Kogi State. This man, Jacob Irewa, allegedly set his wife ablaze during a domestic dispute. Now, if you listen to the video well, he said the wife burnt his clothes, about 7 of them, and they were brand new, different colors. There's green, there's red, there's purple, and she burnt the clothes. And I don't know, Ogaga, he went outside his motorcycle. He said I think he spoke to the neighbors. Nobody could intervene. So the frustration, the anger made him go outside to his motorcycle, get the petrol from the motorcycle, poured on the wife, and set her ablaze. And he said it's the devil. Now this man is a teacher. He's a pastor.
Yes. Now, when these kind of people, when they say they are pastors, I'm very careful to use that title on people. I don't even know where to start from, because I try to think in my head.
The only question in my head right now is this man mentally stable?
Good question.
Is he mentally stable? And I think, in churches, there are requirements, there are tests. I don't know about other churches, but my church, you want to get married, there are tests you have to run. There are things you have to do. Your parents, your family, they have to be in support. So I think mental assessment should be one of the tests that people should go through or go for before they are married in churches or at the registry or anywhere they want to get married. It's very important. Many people are walking on the streets, but inside here, they're not okay.
Yes, and I believe with time, you see, this mental assessment test is something that will come up, because even in time past, people have also called that this test should be carried out on anybody that wants to run for a public office.
Yeah.
And I believe that even with time too, employers will start assessing staff that they want to employ. Now, why this is it's kind of outrageous. This is somebody that should be bone of your bone, flesh of your flesh. If possible, if you look at their age, you probably already have children together. Somebody that you claim to love. Even somebody that I don't love, in quotes, that I don't know, that did something that was very offensive to me. I cannot
Set them on fire.
I cannot set you ablaze. So I'm like, what kind of heart do you have if you are not mentally unstable? And from the woman's perspective, the woman said that, because I listened to her own perspective too, she said the clothes were old.
Even though they were brand new.
Yeah, she said the clothes were old, that when the man came to ask her, she told the man went to his. So I was thinking of it, because when you say it's the devil, and he was even crying, when he starts crying, I feel offended. Like, why are you crying?
That's why,
you went to your motorcycle, opened the tank,
you brought out the
fuel.
And the only way to get that fuel for your motorcycle, you get hose. So you took the time. You went through the process.
Then the woman even said she was cooking when he asked her that question. So you came, you pour the fuel on her.
If she was cooking, automatically she would.
No,
she would
but
come out
apparently
first.
somehow, according to her report, she was not inflamed immediately. That he was the one that took a lighter and lit it and set her ablaze. And now you're crying.
Now the good thing is that the one is alive. She's not dead.
Yeah, she's alive.
She's in hospital
and her
receiving treatment.
family said they want him to face justice. And I totally accept that. So this trying to appeal to my emotion, as a matter of fact, the emotion you're bringing out of me is anger and justice. I'm not seeing anything that has to do
One
with
would just
pity.
wonder what is, like I said, we've seen this in our society. Every day there is like going through my device, I can see a headline seeing a woman who has been battered by her husband. So every day we keep seeing stories like this. What is the solution to domestic violence, or at least how can domestic violence be reduced to the barest minimum in our society? It's alarming.
I think first of all, sensitization, and let's try to remove stigma. Now,
yes,
when I say stigma, because
violence survivors.
Yes, some persons, they are going through abuse in their marriage, male or female alike, but because of the stigma, they can't come out to talk.
Yeah.
So, for example, there's a situation of how a lady was the one that killed her husband. There was also one, this guy was even a military personnel, and the woman violently abused him. So there are some men that are beaten by their wives, but how will you come out and not say, so I will not come out and say my wife beats me? They'll look at you, they say, that's a weak man. See, people in the studio are already laughing. So when you think of that thing, then that's the stigma. And I'll be like, let me just manage it.
And even
Maybe
for women, they will not want to
kill
speak up because they want to protect the image of their
themselves,
marriage.
and sometimes they feel like if you leave a marriage, it's because you could not keep your home. But
Yeah.
it's not always that way. It's not always that way. Your life is at risk. I'm not even advocating for divorce now, sir. Your life is at risk.
There's something called separation.
Move away
Yeah.
first. Not me saying what will happen to my kids. Then also, I think civil society organizations have to do better also. They have to find a way, and the government, they have to be a collaboration where these people are protected. They are catered for. Because sometimes to some women, it's because the men are their source of livelihood. So they are like, if I haven't lived, where am I going to? Maybe she's an orphan or her parents are poor. So, but when we have structures in place, when this kind of thing happens, the government had, in collaboration with civil society organizations, they have facilities where these persons go to. We have lawyers that take up these cases pro bono. They are fought for. I think that there's more sensitization, and we don't stigmatize those people, but rather we see them as survivors and we applaud them. Then people can now start speaking up and running for safety and seeking safety when they find themselves.
Let's also
in
talk
such
about
situations.
the role of our religious leaders and traditional rulers in helping to curb or helping to reduce domestic violence in our society. Now, a large percentage of Nigerians are either Muslims or they are Christians. So for Muslims, they go to the mosque, they have their imam. For Christians, they have their pastors, they have their bishops, they have their priests. So I think religious leaders, just the way we have counseling when two persons are about to get married. There's this in my church is for 3 months. They go through 3 months counseling. I think there should be regular counseling for people, especially married couples, on how to control their anger, how to handle certain issues that we have in marriages, because anger management is very important. If you listen to him, there was a point where he said frustration and anger. I have seen what people can do when they're angry. How will I say they turn to animals when they're angry. So anger management is another issue that we should take seriously, aside from assessing the mental state of a person. How do they handle their anger? How do we teach them to handle their anger in our churches, traditional rulers in society, your traditional ruler in a community, and couples are having issues? What role does the palace play in resolving this issue? So I think it will help a long way if we have such places. I hope to see just what we have in well-developed countries like the US, the UK. There are therapists everywhere. You hear people talk about, I have an appointment with my therapist. Yeah, Nigeria, I think it's the stigma. Another thing is stigma. When you tell someone, I'm going to the hospital and I need to go and speak with my psychiatrist or my therapist, people begin to look at you like you have a mental problem. But therapy is not just because, you have a mental problem. Therapy helps people a lot. For people who have support systems, for women or men who have support systems, you have a very good friend, you have a family member that you can reach out to and you can talk. you're lucky. But there are people that are married and they have no one to talk to. So that's the challenge. We need more therapists in the country.
Finally, we've spoken about external factors. Now let's speak to the individuals involved or individual involved. You have sense.
Are you sure many people have?
No, so find a way
to get sense.
To have sense, because truth is, you see people that have. I'm just limiting it to anger. I see people that have anger issues. It cannot be hidden.
Yeah.
So don't go into marriage thinking that you will change the person. You're not the Holy Spirit. You cannot change any human being because you put yourself at risk. Then also part of having sense means that you should have a community. Yes, I know that there are people that don't have people around them, but it's an error that you are going through a lot of stuff. I'm not even talking about people that won't give you money now.
No.
You don't have somebody to
emotional
pour your
support
heart to. Then you are working in error. How will you live your life? You've lived 25 years, 30 years, 40 years, and you say everybody around you is bad. There's no good person that you can see that you can confide to, that can give you psychosocial support, that can give you sound advice.
I can even pray for you, hold your hands and pray for you.
So that's for you. But if you're at least speak up.
Then let's talk about the family. Let's talk about how children are being brought up in our families. I think in our family units, our parents have a role to play. Mother, father,
Yes,
you have a role to play. Now these children, it's funny. Trauma is quite funny because sometimes I ask myself, I said, if you grow up as a child watching your dad hit your mom, you knew it was bad. You felt bad for your mom. You even cried at some point. Why would you grow up to become a man who beats his wife?
Modeling.
Right?
What you behold, you become.
One would expect that something you saw while growing up and you were not cool with it, when now that you are an adult, you would not want to do that. But like I said, trauma is funny. That some persons grow up and that thing that they watched while they were young, they become worse. They even do worse than what they saw their parents do. So as a father, as a mother, know that your children, they are watching you and you need to be a model to your children. And also for our society here in Nigeria, in African society, the way you train your boy child, sorry, Ogaga, I have to mention a particular gender. The way you train your boy child is very important. I think mothers pay attention to their girls, but nobody teaches boys how to be men or how to be husbands, how to be good husbands. So pay attention to your boy child as well and train them the way they should go.
Yes, and also society generally, because if you search the internet or if you go around now, you'll see more programs that has to do with the girl child than the boy child. So there has to be that balance, and the place of modeling the right thing for your children cannot be overemphasized. I was listening to a marriage couple and she was talking about when she nearly got married to her husband. She was angry with her husband. Her husband was apologizing. She was still uptight. Before she knew, her husband laid on the floor, was begging her. She was shocked. You know that kind of feeling, a man is lying down. She said until one time she went to visit, they went to see her in-law parents, and the father was begging the mother. Before she knew, the father laid down for the mother. So she was like, oh,
this is where
he saw it. So it comes back to that thing. A guy might see that, a boy at that time might see that his father is hitting the mother. He might not like it because of the way he sees and how endeared he is to his mother. But when he grows up and he's now with a lady that's offending him, by instinct, that thing is already embedded in him.
So you feel like the best way to flex your muscles,
to hit the lady, to put her in her place. How do people come up with this mentality that men are polygamous in nature? It's a culture, something that has been said, that has been fed to the soul of humans.
Something they've seen,
yes.
Something that other men have flexed with.
Society has been okay with it. Just like the way society shames a woman. She's not even married to a husband. Maybe if you just say that a woman is having another lover, you'd be like, but if you hear a man say, I'm a man now, they excuse it. So there needs to be a counter culture that has to oppose these things, and we need to model the right thing for our children and people generally. And we should not get tired of saying these things and sensitizing people.
If you're going through domestic violence in your home, in your marriage, please learn to speak up, okay? You need to be alive for your children. Some women will say, for my children. Even some men will say, I'm still in this marriage just for my children. If anything happens to you, you die, those children will live their lives. So learn to speak up. Go to the police. Go to, we have Women Affairs here in Delta State. I know that in Asaba, we have the Women Affairs office you can go to, and they will give you help. Richard, like Ogaga said, you need a community.
There's
If
also
you
the
don't
Human
have
Rights Commission.
Human Rights Commission, yes. If you don't have a friend, if you don't have a sister, a brother, a pastor, you need someone. You need a community. It's very important that you need that you have a community around you, someone you can talk to, someone you can, someone that can offer you advice when you're going through hard times. The good thing about the story is that the man has been arrested. He's been arrested, and the family of the lady says they want the law to take its course. So it's a good one. That's how we will wrap up trending stories this morning. We have lots of conversations on Morning Ride. We'll go on a short break, and when we come back, we'll continue. Please stay tuned.